on YouTube before. I can't remember, maybe one time, and it just like I had a really hard time. But I'm trying to reply to someone's question about wiring on the Ultimate B, how I did my limits and my motor wiring. So West Coast ADV, I'm replying to you. I'm sorry, it's been like 3 weeks. I've just been like completely rocked here. But let me see if I can flip this around and hopefully answer your questions. And hopefully it's not too late. Like you didn't already get your machine and figure this out. Well, I hope you did, but uh, if you've been struggling, I'm sorry it took so long. So, oh, okay, apparently you can't. Apparently you can't flip the camera. Oh, do I have to hold this down? Oh my god, that's so annoying. YouTube. YouTube Live, brutal here. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. I can't flip the camera. Oh, God. Wow, that's so annoying. I can see that it's going to flip here. I can't flip the camera around. Let's see if we can do this together here, though. So I had a couple of people ask about limit switch wiring and, how I did it, what kind of brackets I used and whatnot. But these mounting brackets came with the Ultimate B from Bulkman 3D. So I don't know if maybe some people are like not getting them, but if you don't get the parts with your kit, totally hit up Bulkman. I've heard that maybe they're not being as responsive lately. I never had issues. If like when I ordered my kit, these cable drag, the drag chains didn't come with it, and I was like, well, I mean, I really need those, obviously. So I hit them up, and I had these within like a week. I think they arrived. So like, if you don't get something with your kit, hit them up. They used to be really good, but a couple of people have been hitting me up, being like, "Hey, I'm not getting parts, and I'm not getting a response." I'm like, I'm not affiliated with Bulkman, but I've ordered two machines from them. So I have this Ultimate B, and I have what is like kind of jacked up right now, my Queen Bee. But I've ordered two machines from them, and I have not had any issues getting parts if they don't send them. But I've been hearing recently that like they're not getting back to people, which is a super bummer because I had a really good experience both times. But I will respond to those questions here. So, limit switch wiring. If you're just coming in, I've had a couple of people ask me about limit switch wiring and motor wiring. So, limit switches, I just flipped my Z is facing this way so that when the Z axis comes down, this bearing, the edge of this bearing actually pushes this limit switch down. And then I ran that up, and I got some of this gasket material that actually fits right into the channels of the extrusion. So it keeps this wire from like popping out and flopping around. And then I just zip tied it right here to the spacer on the motor. And then I ran that through the drag chain, as you'd expect. As for X, I kind of did the same thing here. I've got it lined up with this extrusion so that when this bearing on the X gantry comes down, boom, it's gonna hit this limit switch right here. And then I think the confusing one for people is the Y, because it's such a short limit switch. The cable, I think, is only maybe like 3 feet long or something, right? And you're like, how do I even get this to reach my controller? So you only need the limit switch on one side. So as long as you have aligned everything, if you can see this table here, I have the limit switch, and it like immediately drops through this hole that I have drilled in my table and goes right to my controller box. So same idea here, right? If you look at this from above, the bearing is coming this way, the block, and it's gonna trip that when it goes back. And you just gotta set it off some distance so that the plate doesn't crash into this mount. Let's see. I think the other question was where does the X wire go for the limit? I should have covered that just now, but I realized that it's kind of tucked back here. So the X limit doesn't go through this drag chain that's on your gantry. It just comes in here because this is never going to move. Like, this is fixed, right? So you're going to attach it to the gantry and then just run it right along the back. Like, you could run this in this channel here, you can run it whatever, zip tie it in. But again, I ordered this little kind of like channel cover gasket material to fit in here so that it's not popping out, and it's worked really well. It hasn't come out yet. So yeah, that just goes all the way across and then pops into my drag chain here so that it goes in. I'm sorry, I can't flip the phone, so this is like a really awkward way to show this, but West Coast ADV, I'm gonna tag you because this was specifically answering your question, but I hope this helps anybody else. I don't know if I can actually like post this after as a, like I did a live video. I haven't done the live on YouTube before, but I'm gonna be resurfacing my spoil board on the Ultimate Bee today, and making some other stuff. I did just swap out the spindle to the 2.2 kilowatt here, and one-handed. Let's see if I can unscrew this here. I'm gonna use this. Wow, this is really hard with one hand. I'm gonna be using this, and this is part of the reason why I did the swap out. The 2-inch surfacing end mill. This is the Spey Tool one. It was not a ton. I think this was like $50 or something, but 2 inches versus 1. So theoretically, I'm going to be able to resurface the spoil board like twice as fast. And that was part of the reason for moving back to the 2.2 kilowatt. So, yep, West Coast ADV. I hope that answers your question. I'll tag you in this, and if it doesn't, hit me up and I'll do some other videos. Right on. Later.